G'day everybody, welcome back to another episode of Crafted by Tim, and welcome to the new year. A little while ago I made a short video on pyrography, and if you remember in the intro I showcased these two books. One is my blacksmithing journal and another one is a English project. Still waiting for my marks on that. I thought about this, as it is coming into the new year, that people are probably going to start looking to buy back to school stuff, and thank God it's not me this year. And you know, you go into the shop and you're like, oh yeah, I gotta get my kid, or I gotta get myself some exercise books and some notepads and notebooks and all the rest of it, and but I might lose it, so let's put some cheap and crappy contact on it so it's personalized. Why bother? In this project I'm going to show you how to turn two notebooks into this thing. A small notepad that is actually quite useful, and this took me like 2 hours to make. You can even put some wire on the back and, you know, hang it places. Hang it places. That's probably out of frame. Anyway, 2 hours. And probably the majority of that was just watching the glue dry. So let's get started, eh? Okay, we're going to start by dissecting two of these exercise books. I've already cut one in half down the seam. What you're going to do is you're going to take your knife and you're basically going to look at the top of the book. Should be able to see, oh, you can't see it very well, but there should be a small gap where the two books come together. There may not be a hole there. It might be filled with glue. Basically just going to take your knife and run it down. You're going to separate the two halves of the book. Now if you end up with problems like this, it's probably best to just discard these pieces of paper. If you try and salvage it, you're not going to get much, and it's really just ends up not being worth it. And you just take off the cardboard outside, and that's going to this one is piece of paper that decided to stay attached. Doesn't matter. We should have enough paper out of the way. Same for this one. We do actually have some staples, but they shouldn't matter. So now what I'm going to do is, my guillotine has a marking on it. This one here, which means that every time I move it to this solid black line, I'll be cutting it to a perfect A5 size. And that's what I want to be doing for each half of this booklet. I'm not sure how many pieces of paper this can cut through anymore. It's already done quite a few, but we'll just see how this goes. The next step is to cut a piece of 3mm ply, 5mm longer, and 1 centimeter wider than the pieces of paper that you just cut. So I managed to fix it, kind of. Although it did mean that I had to separate it into several different parts and then cut them individually on the guillotine paper cutter. However, now it is much more square and it fits much easier into this border. So now I'm just going to measure this. So we got 12.8 mil, and we're going to cut this down to the same size. This is from a wooden stake. I don't know how big it is. I don't even know what kind of wood that is. Maybe plain, I don't know. But yeah, this is from another project. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this down to 12.8 mil long. We're going to put a 45-degree bevel on it, and if necessary we're just going to take a little bit off the top, which we'll probably end up doing. What I've just done is I've taken about 10-15 mils of methylated spirits, chucked it in here, and then I added about 2 or 3 mils of this Feast Watson. You don't need an awful lot of the Feast Watson proofing at all. It's a traditional spirit-based stain. This one's black. I used it for a previous project for an old friend, and I didn't realize how strong these spirit-based stains are, and I could probably, using maybe half this bottle, cover the entirety of this table, and it would still be a really strong colour. Alright, fine, I'll use this. Well, you'll see how quickly this stuff soaks in. And it dries really quick because of that. Now I've just finished, and already I can feel that the back here is it's pretty well dry now. So one of the good things about this is the ability to actually just rip off things. So here I've written down my shopping list, and all I need to do is just drag it all the way up, and I get a really clean cut across there. And I can even rip out ones from underneath where I was originally working. So I've written stuff on this one, but I don't want to rip off that page yet, so I'm just going to go to the next page and rip out that page. And it still works perfectly just the same. Another good thing about this is that you can easily take out these bolts, and you can replace the pad if you run out of room, and you can just continuously make new pads. They're not hard to make. So I think with this one I'm probably going to pull these bolts out just a little bit so I can fit a bit of picture frame wire. I'm just going to hang this somewhere in the house to allow me to just write down little notes, maybe have it next to a calendar or put it on the fridge. I'm actually really happy with the way this turned out. Anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button.